Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. It is time for our dream interpretation live stream. So thank you all for those of you who've been patient with me over the last couple of weeks. I have not had a live stream last couple of weeks at least. And, life has just been hectic. There are a lot of things going on, especially as we go into hopefully warmer weather soon. But yeah, it's a lot going on. For those of you who haven't heard, I am being honored this week as one of the 2022 Women of Excellence by the Michigan Chronicle. So there's a lot going on in my life, and I'm just so grateful for all of the opportunities that I have been given. There's also a few conferences coming up that I will be presenting at. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing more information about that as well. It's time to talk dream interpretation. That's what we do on Tuesday evenings for our live stream. We talk dream interpretation. So tonight is no different. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews. I am the senior pastor of Visions International Ministry. I have been in ministry and in leadership for the last 25 years, various leadership positions over the last 25 years. I am very excited about what God is doing in our ministry. Visions International Ministry has been around 4 years now. Believe it or not, it's been 4 years that God has been doing great things through us, and we are so grateful. We are sharing each Tuesday about dream interpretation. It is my job to make sure that people know that dreaming is biblical. God can give you answers. He can give you lots of information through your dreams. And I went through a series called The 20 Types of Dreams. We went over 20 different types of dreams. If you missed that, it is available on my YouTube channel. It's also available on the Visions International Ministry Facebook page. You can go back and see the specific different types of dreams that we've talked about and we've shared. But it is my job. I am here to teach believers how to interpret their dreams. I don't interpret dreams for other people for the most part. There's some close friends that, will share dreams with me, and I'll send them the interpretation that God shares with me. But for the most part, I teach believers how to interpret their dreams. So when we go live on Tuesday evening, it is to share with you what some of these symbols actually mean. So if you've missed any of our dream interpretation live streams, you can watch it. You can watch the replay. I look forward to hearing from you. So make sure that you put any questions or comments you have in the comments. You can also share any questions that you have or anything that you would like to see me address in future live streams. All right. Having said all of that, we're talking specifically about symbolic places this evening. There are 6 symbolic places that I'm going to share in tonight's live stream. And for those of you who are not aware, symbolism. There's lots of symbolism in the Bible. There's lots of symbolism in our dreams specifically. The only thing as far as dream interpretation that is not symbolic are numbers. Numbers are literal. So when it comes to numbers are literal in your dreams. That's the only thing that's typically literal, unless you are what's called a straight dreamer, which is a literal dreamer. Hello there, Elder Morgan. But everything else pretty much is symbolism. And in symbolism, there are things that are conveyed. There are hidden meanings that are conveyed. There's revelation that can be conveyed. So it's important to start to learn what these symbols are. So having said all that, let's get into the 6 symbols or 6 symbolic places that we will talk specifically about this evening. And if you follow me on social media, Ministry Visions is the username that I share on Instagram as well as on TikTok when it comes to dream interpretation. If you miss any of our live streams, a lot of the content that I review during the live stream is already posted on our social media. So let's get started. The first symbolic place that I'll talk about this evening is a hotel. If you have ever dreamed about being in a hotel, and I know that I have, I've dreamed about, being at a big fancy hotel, seeing, being there with someone that I know, but seeing a lot of other people that I don't know. So regardless of what type of dream it is, if you're dreaming about a hotel represents a temporary place. So it's letting you know that whatever this thing is that's going on, and again, don't want to take anything out of context. You want to look at all of the details that are given to you in the dream. So just because it's a hotel, and hotel means temporary place, it can mean something very different for me than it means to someone else because of the other details that are present. So even though I'm giving you the meaning of these symbols, you always want to pay attention to the context of the dream, and the context of the dream, those additional details, that is what changes one interpretation to another. So a hotel represents a temporary place. Typically, if you're at a hotel or you see a hotel, again, depending on whether you're actually in it and you're involved or whether you are watching what's going on with someone else, a hotel means a temporary place. The next one is a school. I know I have dreamed many of times about being in school, being in a classroom, being in the hall at a school. Lots of different things I've dreamed about being in school. And school can mean a couple different things, and I'll let you know what that means. So school can obviously stand for teaching or for learning. It's something that could be very positive, especially if you're contemplating going back to school or if you're currently enrolled in school. It can have a very different meaning as far as teaching and learning if you're currently enrolled in school. But for the most part, for those of us who are older, we graduated, we're not in school right now, being in a school can also mean a spirit of delay. So that's why those other details are important in order to get the proper interpretation. I know for me, if I'm dreaming about being in a school, at a school, unless I'm going to a school to do a presentation, and this is just, aspects of my soul that's entering into the dream realm, typically it means a spirit of delay, and you want to always rebuke that spirit of delay in your life if that is the case. So school can mean teaching, it can mean learning, but if you're not in school, if you're not connected to school in any way, you want to be very careful because it could be a spirit of delay. All right, next up is a hospital. Sometimes you find yourself walking down the hall in the hospital, or maybe you're going to visit somebody in the hospital. Maybe it's you that you see in the hospital. Again, lots of different scenarios when it comes to the hospital, but the hospital as a symbolic place in a dream represents healing. It can also represent rebuilding. So if you are in a hospital, or you are walking down the hall in the hospital, or you are, again, in an emergency room seeing doctors or nurses or other people, anything dealing with a hospital, then that typically means healing. It can also mean rebuilding. But I always will encourage you to, as soon as you wake up, write down as many details as possible as you remember about the dream. Those details are going to be key. And just like we could talk about the meanings of these symbolic places, there are lots of other things that can also have different meanings and change the interpretation overall of your dream. Next up is an airport. I know some people dream more about seeing an airplane versus being in an airport themselves, but an airport represents spiritual refueling. Sometimes you just need, that extra shot in the arm. You need, again, that spirit food, if you would. You need that additional refueling. You need to be fired up again. You need that revival. So airport can mean spiritual refueling. It could also mean awaiting destiny. A lot of times when we're in an airport, we're waiting to take off. And in the same way, airports can represent you awaiting your destiny. You're waiting to take off. You're waiting to go forward. You're waiting to go higher in the spirit realm. All of that can be represented by the airport. But pay attention to what's going on, who's with you, what's being said, what's being done. All those details can change the interpretation. And I cannot say that enough. That's why I'm talking about it consistently as we look at these symbolic places. As you're joining us, make sure you say hello in the comments. I want to make sure I give you a shout out on camera if you're joining us. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and drop in #replay. All right, we've talked about the hotel, which is a temporary place. We talked about school, which could be teaching, learning, or it could be a spirit of delay. We talked about the hospital, which could be healing or rebuilding. We just talked about an airport, which could be spiritual refueling or awaiting your destiny. And next up is an elevator. I know, I've often seen elevators in my dream. I've often been in an elevator. As long as the elevator's going up, we're doing good, right? We don't want to be on the elevator that's going down. But in either event, the elevator itself as a spiritual place means entering into the spirit realm. When you're dreaming, you're in the spirit realm already. But the elevator, as far as the meaning or the interpretation, deals with entering into the spirit realm. So the elevator, entering to the spirit realm, you want to pay attention to who you're with, whether they're supporting you, whether they're not supporting you, whether they're speaking against you or not. Pay attention to all of those things because, again, based on the type of dream it is, and we've gone through 20 different types of dreams, you want to pay attention to what type of dream it is based on all the information you're receiving, and then what message is being communicated. And even though the elevator represents entering into the spirit realm, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what else is going on so you understand overall what it means. And then finally, I mentioned we're going to do 6 symbolic places today. The final one that we'll talk about today is the sports arena. A sports arena. When you find yourself in a sports arena, obviously, if you think about a sports arena, and I'm from Detroit, so, we could talk about the Pontiac Silverdome back in the day, or we could talk about Little Caesars Arena. But when you think about a sports arena, or even Joe Louis Arena, if you think about the sports arena, it is a public place. So 2 things that it could mean. A sports arena could mean that you're moving in faith, or it could also mean spiritual warfare. If you think about it, there are lots of things that take place in a sports arena, but those 2 things, moving in faith or spiritual warfare, is typically what it means, and it's in a public space. So keep that in mind. You're moving in faith in a public space, or you are a part of or conducting spiritual warfare in a public space. So that public space is the key component of it being in a sports arena, because in a sports arena, even though there's some main action taking place on the ground level or wherever it is, there are all these people, or at least all these seats, for people to be able to watch what's going on. And they're watching what's going on. They're not participating. So that's why adding that in a public space is conditional as a part of the revelation for what it means when you are in a sports arena in your dream. So just to recap, we talked about 6 symbolic places today: hotel, school, hospital, airport, elevator, and a sports arena, just to give you an idea of the types of things that you see in your dream and what it means when you see these things. And hopefully you're starting to put all of this information together to help to interpret your own dreams better. Again, my name is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews. I am called to teach believers how to interpret their own dreams. So if you are a dreamer, and we know that the Bible teaches that dreams and visions will increase, then I hope that you are being blessed by the information during our dream interpretation live streams on Tuesday evenings. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, just a quick video to let you know about some symbolic places. And we went over 6 symbolic places today. If you missed it, go back and watch the replay so you can learn what a hotel, a school, a hospital, an airport, an elevator, and a sports arena can mean in your dreams. Happy dreaming, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.